Hey, what's up guys? Dustin here, ATEM Off-Road. In today's video, we're going to be fitting the Inspired Overland RTT on the XJ. I picked up a $100 roof rack. It's a ladder rack for vans, and it's got some adjustability and everything. We're going to be modifying it to fit up the Inspired Overland RTT to the XJ. I'm super excited. Come with me on this little DIY project. Let's get to work. Here's the tent we're going to be mounting on the Jeep. It's upside down, ready to accept the ladder rack. So this is a gutter mounted ladder rack. I've got it all in box sitting here. The crossbars on the floor, and then these are the mounts, and I'll share with you what we're going to be doing to those here in a minute. But these are the crossbar tubes. They're about 1.5 inch tubes in diameter, and they're telescoping. You've got 2 tubes, one fits inside the other, and you've got these knobs right here. Those are to adjust the width of your roof. Now, the manufacturer claims that these are rated for about 800 pounds. I'm not sure about the static or dynamic weights and how that will all affect it, but 800 pounds is pretty damn good. And they had these triangle plates with 3 holes drilled in them to them, and then they basically attach to each mount. There's going to be a total of 6, 3 on each side. So that's the crossbar tubes. We're not going to really be touching anything there. Here is where we're going to do all of our modifications, and I want to move these holes down here because right now when I mount the rack up to the roof of the Jeep, it sits really high, and there's like a 6-inch gap, and that's going to be a lot of space between the tent and the roof. So let's go ahead and start doing that. So just keep in mind, you can be doing yours totally different, but this is kind of what I've come up with. I don't want to cut my holes because I'm going to need those as a template to move down here. So I'm basically going to come up with an angle that I like without cutting these holes, make those cuts, and then bring this piece down, mark our holes, and drill them. All right, so I've got all of the metal brackets cut up, sanded, deburred, ready to accept the new holes for the crossbars. I've got plenty of room on the bracket to put these holes here, and I kind of wanted to share with you before I started drilling those holes how I got the placement of them. Now what I did was I took a piece of square tubing like this. It's about 1 inch tall, and I set it on the highest point of the roof, and then I set my brackets like so in the gutter with the crossbar across. That was able to tell me where the placement of the triangulated flange and those 3 holes are on the actual bracket itself. That will give me a 1 inch gap between the roof and the bottom of that 1.5 inch crossbar. And then I'll copy this onto the rest of the brackets. We'll get all the holes drilled out, and then I'll show you how to make the holes square at the end. So let's go ahead and get some holes transferred over to the brackets, and then I'll show you how to make them square. These things come in handy. They're pretty inexpensive. You can find them on Amazon, but they're the clicker type, and it just makes a little dimple so you know where to start the hole. The size of this is a 5/16 carriage bolt, and because it's 5/16, I've also drilled out all the holes. This is a 5/16 drill bit for cutting steel. So I've got all of them drilled out with the stepper bit. So the material is a little bit thinner. That way when we strike that bolt, it will force a square into the material. I've got some MAP gas right here. I'm gonna go ahead and start that up. And I'm gonna hold it over the hole for about 15 seconds. It's okay that some of the paint might burn off. We're gonna wire wheel that off anyways. These are gonna need to be repainted. I'm gonna flip this over. See if some of it caught on fire there. And I think we're just about ready. Set it there. Go ahead and set the bolt through. And there we have it. A nice square hole with a flush-headed bolt across the surface of the material. Super flush, and that's good. So I'll give you an idea of what it looks like on this side. You can see where it's square there now. So I'm going to continue to do all the holes on all the brackets. All right, so I've got all of the crossbars ready to go, exactly how I want them. I'm gonna clean everything up real quick, clean up my mess, and get these painted real quick. I got this 2X primer and paint, semi-gloss, kind of match the original paint color with that. And then we'll get these mounted to the rooftop tent. All right, so the paint is dry. We're coming back to the Jeep. I've got all of the racks set onto the gutter where they're gonna be mounted. And I've also applied some masking tape, blue tape, so I know where to bolt these onto the RTT. So that's my strategy, is we're gonna bolt the racks to the front and the rear to the RTT, and then we're just gonna leave this one here in the middle. So I've got 17 inches from the front of the RTT to the center of this crossbar, and then from here to here 4 feet exactly, and then from here to the middle 2 feet. I have them locked down. Those knobs I was telling you earlier in the video, they're locked down to the width of the gutter. So now I can take them off, we'll bolt them to the RTT, and then bring the RTT back and set it down onto here, and then get the gutter mounts mounted up. So let's do it. The idea here is I'm gonna go 17 from the end to the center of the tube, and we're gonna lock that down. That's pretty much how I mapped it all out. So these are the brackets that come with the tent, the Inspired Overland tent. And this is the style I'm gonna use. And then I'm gonna go get it on that side and get all this squared up and the tent centered on the crossbar. All right, so I've got 17 inches from the front back, and we've got the crossbar bolted, and then 4 feet back. Like I was saying earlier, with the masking tape, it's all maxed up. I left it a little bit loose, that way if we have to rotate the rods, we can. And then I'll just get my hand in there and just finish tightening up all 4 sides. And then that one should be directly in the middle. So I'm gonna get some help getting this onto the XJ, and then we'll get the gutter mounts all bolted up to the rooftop.
Yeah.
So that's it. Ladder rack is installed. I think it looks pretty awesome for a budget style rack, and pretty much just drilling holes, no welding. There is a bit of space here, and I probably could have lowered it another 3/4 of an inch, but I think what we'll do is we'll put an awning on this side and maybe a cool light bar in the front, and that will kind of cover up that space. But other than that, I think the tent looks great. We've got the most affordable, lightweight, thinnest tent on the market, and man, it looks cool. I can't wait to get some lift and some tires on this thing and just continue this build. So I appreciate you guys joining with me on this little mod today for the RTT tent gutter rack, and yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Have a good day. Peace out.